it's you, it's my fate to let you go. You feel hate when I'm around you, but I know you won't let me go. So close, down inside of me. So close to leave, and I know there's no relief. Time has come, I have tired. I just feel the pressure of the things that I have in mind. I wanted peace, I wanted to be fine. I wonder why I can't adjust it for a while. I really want to see what it looks like. To have a moment I knew that would be mine. When the windows are all closed, like a picture of a time. When the future is a hole you're looking for. Save me from everything. Tell me where to find my way. I'm just looking for something. I can't make it another day. 'Cause I'm falling down, fading away. 'Cause I'm falling down. This is what I know, I just keep running. I was working fast and hard, never thinking about now. But living unhappy thanks to all the things that I have to try. I wanted peace, I wanted to be fine. I wonder why I can't adjust it for a while. I really want to see what it looks like. To have a moment I know that would be mine. Would be mine. Save me from everything. Tell me where to find my way. I'm just looking for something. I can't make it another day. 'Cause I'm falling down, fading away. 'Cause I'm falling down. This is what I know, I just keep running. If I survive, if I am strong, why do I feel I never grow? But I survive, and I'll be strong.
Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Once again, two series for us here, the Midwest Days of Thunder Cup Series. Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. It's Rockingham 150 brought to you by Jinx Shifters. Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Jason over here, Signature Esports.
Hello and welcome to another Midwest Days of Thunder race coming to you live from Indianapolis here today. We do begin today on a little more of a somber note. Tomorrow will mark the 20th anniversary of the attacks that happened on 9/11/2001. We actually have a few racers in here that were not around on that day, but I, like many of us watching here and racing, remember exactly where we were and what we were doing when the news started to come out about New York. That day, we as Americans were shocked and horrified by an attack on our country that we had never seen since the attack on Pearl Harbor. It is a day that is filled with grief, anger, and terror. A day where the earth stood still. The deep impacts of the darkness that was felt spread through the world even more as news of attacks on the Pentagon and the plane crash of Flight 93. However, it is also important to remember that day for more than just the dark. There was a small, glimmering light of hope that began to shine through. Stories of survivors spread, heroic actions by just ordinary Americans and first responders started to be shared. Day by day, that light shone a little brighter and brighter, bringing this country off of its knees and upon its feet. That is why it is important to remember that day, especially in our current times of being ensnared in the arms of turmoil, staring into the abyss of darkness, to remember the great loss, but also remember the light of a country coming together in a great time of need. We'll now ask that you join us in a moment of silence, during which we ask that you please pray, remember, and honor the victims, their families, and the heroes of that day. Following that, we will play the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
For those of us here at MDOT TV, the Midwest Days of Thunder Racing Series, and AAA Broadcasting, we thank you. For tonight's race, I am your host, Alan Brown, and as always, joined here in the booth, we got Mr. Alan English. Alan, man, this is going to be an interesting race here. 60 laps at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and man, I can't think of a better place to hold this race today.
Yeah, man, thanks for that awesome tribute that you put together. Thanks also to A&J's Custom Creations for coming on as a sponsor for this race. Yeah, the big 2.5 mile rectangle that I wish they still did cup races here, but for whatever reason they kind of quit doing it. But looking forward to it. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. These guys, check out all the paints and stuff we got going on today. It's going to be rad.
And down there on pit road, maybe seeing some action at this kind of tricky track, we got Mr. Adam Turner. Adam, how you feeling about tonight?
Man, I'm feeling awesome, especially after listening to that, Brown. I mean, on a personal note, I went into work 20 years ago today on night shift, and I came out a different person the next morning. I can assure you that. So, true heartfelt words that you mentioned there, and we definitely will never forget. But as far as the paint schemes and the track, amazing. The track's a little hot, so it's going to be tricky, and it is a little flat. So we should see a little bit of action here at this track.
It is a tricky 2.5 mile track here in Indianapolis, where you can actually say there's 4 legitimate different corners, not like your typical oval where you're kind of splitting one turn into 2. But it's, nice weather here. It's going to be might be a little warm, so these drivers might have to watch their tire usage a little bit. But that also brings us to the big key of the race, and it's going to be you got to time your runs. You do not want to be getting a run on somebody in the middle of one of these corners. It is very difficult to pass, especially when those tires go down. And getting as much speed on those straightaways is going to be kind of like the big key.
So, in saying that, you might get some repeat crossover moves going, like going into one, and by the time they come out of turn 2, they might have crossed each other over a couple of times.
So it's going to be kind of like a dirt track on asphalt. Is that what you're saying? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe something a little bit comparable to that. Just guys trying to find that line and where the runs come in, and it's going to be interesting.
Just how flat it is. You really have to. It's we've said this before, but it's technical for an oval. I mean, there's a lot of precision that you have to put into every corner because it's totally different than what we normally race here.
We're going to take a ride around here with Mike Simone as he goes around for his qualifying effort, and just so y'all can see how, A, flat, and B, how much these guys are going to have to wheel these cars. And, it's not like a typical 2.5 mile super speedway or something where you can just floor it. You're going to have to lift and kind of figure out some braking points, and, it's a whole different kind of racing.
Yeah, and if you check out Mike's paint job and Barkley and Thorns, and there's a few paints out here, these nice patriotic paints that Mike Simone did for this race, for this tribute, to the victims of 9/11 and all those who went overseas after to try to kind of correct the deal. And thanks to Mike for really putting his heart and soul into painting a bunch of these cars tonight.
As he turns down turn number 3 and then going into 4, you can just, as we were riding in that car, hear all those tires just screaming and begging for grip. As these guys are going to be pushing it to the limit, especially when we look at this long front straightaway. There's a possibility if people aren't completely settled in their car, it gets really tight down there between the pit wall and the outside wall.
We'll get some cars pushing after a few laps, and it's going to be a matter of backing up those lift points and stuff to make that car do what you want in that turn and get it to turn all the way through, because the tires aren't going to last for very long on a flat track like this, are they, Adam?
No, they're not. They're not. And what do you think? Are all the corners basically the same? Because when I'm here, I just kind of feel like I get lost. I don't know where I am. As kind of Simone lost there. You just kind of get lost in the consistent laps, just going around and going around. But some corners seem trickier than the others. I'm not sure if there's any difference or not. What is the deal with that? Do you know?
I know you got to lift a whole heck of a lot more going into 1 than you do going into 3. I'll have to do some research. I'll get back to you on that and see if I can find some banking numbers.
Oh, stump the chump, I guess. No, but that's what I was kind of getting at. 1 is definitely it's a pain. I don't know why. It just seems like that's where a lot of the issues come, is in turn 1 and then coming out of turn 4.
Yeah, I think there are some little differences between each of these corners. I really haven't driven this track in any of these NASCAR cars at all. It's been more or less in an Indy car, and you can kind of notice it a little bit in the Indy car, but those things just have so much downforce, and they really don't have too much of an issue here at this track, as we're riding around here with Pete Van Sprundle, and you can see on his paint scheme this week, he's got a whole collage of all the victims from 9/11.
Yeah, what a unique tribute that is. And the back deck of his cars, the Twin Towers lit up in lights. I remember that. That was pretty awesome when they did that. And man, it's just really cool deal tonight, honoring, the victims, the heroes of 9/11.
9.2 degree banking in every turn. So
it's basically a mind game.
yeah, I'm not really sure, man. I never was any good here.
Definitely a tough track.
Talking about everyday heroes, I saw a deal a while back about all the people that rushed in to try to help recover folks and rescue folks. And one of it was actor Steve Buscemi, who a lot of people know he was Crazy Eyes and Mr. Deeds, and he's in Reservoir Dogs, a bunch of movies. And he was a New York City firefighter before he was an actor. So when he heard about what was going on, he went down there and worked as a firefighter to help try to recover people, including guys he knew from his old firehouse. So he lost a lot of friends on that day too.
As our qualifying effort finishes up here today, man, it's a lot of close times out there, and our typical couple people not putting in a time, but you know what? That's all right. We're going to say their names either way. Winning pole position here today would be Mr. William Brown, just beating out John Neidick, who's going to be starting there in second. Justin Malarkey actually finally having a solid qualifying day here. He's going to be starting up there in third. You also got the 72 of Manny Valdez starting here in fourth. In fifth, you got Red Stick Mike Simone with Isaac Degner going to be starting on his outside in sixth. In seventh, you got the 24 of Joe Neidick with Greg Klein in that 92 starting there in eighth. Justin Barkley will be starting here in ninth with Alan Dixon rounding out your top 10.
Matt Forns in that Patriotic 10 Rainier Beer Machine will be starting in 11th. The 64 of Tony Fry back there in 12th. The 26 of Michael Buckley starting 13th. And the 80 of Pete Van Sprundle starting in 14th place.
Number 5 in the Busch Light car, Taver Mowry starting 15th. Lance Hill, the number 6 car, he's 16th. He didn't put in a lap. That's kind of strange to me. He's always up in front. We'll see what he's up to.
Likes passing cars.
Maybe he does. And then 21 of Michael Pimpera, 17th. The 25 of Eric Fiorello, the Italian stallion from Arkansas, 18th. And then rounding it out in the G.I. Joe machine, number 96, Derek Schimmel.
That's a sweet paint, too.
So 60 laps is what's going to separate the men from the boys, I could say here, as the pace car leads them around through turns 1 and 2 and onto this back straightaway. Definitely look for some early shuffling, I think, going on here, and I think if we're going to see a caution, it's going to be within the first couple of laps. After that, I think it's going to get all spread out.
Yeah, once these guys spread out, there's not going to be a whole heck of a lot of passing, I don't think. But tire management is going to be a big thing here, too. You know, these guys are just going to have to pay attention to how that car handles and how much it's starting to push, and keep track, because the next set of tires they put on, they're going to want to have to adjust to that.
I hope you don't mean that this is going to be boring.
Oh no, I think this Brickyard is going to have some things to say that you will enjoy there, Mr. Turner, as a pace car kind of leads them through turn 4 here for the final time on this opening lap. Getting ready to dive down here into pit road. I know William and John are ready to lead this pack to this green flag. I know we are all here ready to go back to some racing. And away we go. Green flags waving down across the line, 2 wide down towards turn 1. Looks like that inside of William Brown is able to get a little bit of a run as still 2 wide behind him. You see the 72 of Manny Valdez really using that brick curbing on that inside. Maybe making this car just a little bit loose, but still not too bad, as kind of looks like they're already starting to single file out.
Everybody made it through the first 2 turns, so that's a good sign. But everybody's starting to kind of, like you say, go single file and find their spot here.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't race last week, if I remember correctly, so maybe they're a little rusty, and they're just trying to slow it down a little bit and not cause too many problems here with these cold tires.
And we can see the 92 of Greg Klein. He's starting to work up that inside of the 98 of Isaac Degner. Looks like he might have lifted out of turn 4 to maybe get a little bit of space, but that's going to put Joe Nidick right there on his back bumper.
UT paint
Also
pretty
got
sharp.
a little. Oh, we got a. Looks like Manny getting down into that inside and running out of room. There was a battle up there for third, and I think he just might have got squeezed out a little bit there, and
Yeah.
he's now kind of getting freight trained back as Alan Dixon is now moving his way up. He's now sitting up into 8th.
Looks like the 31 might have let that cheddar machine in.
Yeah, it's probably wise at this point. You know, it's still.
I mean, it's early. Yeah. We've said it time and time again. The 31's probably one of the most patient guys on the track, and he knows when to push it and when to let somebody go.
So we kind of
Check
see
out the 92 getting somebody getting a run on him. Looks like one of them Nidick boys.
And you got Joe Nidick looking up the inside of Greg Klein, and plenty of room to be found, but that's not going to last very long as they exit the corner. Looks like Greg was able to get just a little bit better of an exit, and you can just see this long snake of guys kind of tucking in and out of the line, trying to get a little bit of draft, get a little bit of a run, as Alan Dixon, excuse me, I think that's Lance Hill trying to slide up and around Joe Nidick, not quite being there yet.
He's already up 8 spots. I guess he does like to pass people.
Got a side-by-side action up here with Greg Klein and Isaac Degner as they shoot down into turn number 1. Greg on that inside line getting a little bit of a run, but it's going to leave a poor line for turn 2 here, but it looks like he will be able to hang on to it. But don't keep your eyes off of that 98 machine. He's going to have the draft and maybe a run to get back at him here in the next couple laps. As we got, man, I don't know who that was. Who is that?
The 6, that's Lance Hill. They're going inside of Manny. Manny already made up a couple of spots that he lost early on. As the 6 getting inside the 98 there.
The 6 hauling butt all the way up through this field. I wonder if he just might have took a little break and decided, maybe I don't want to qualify today. But either the case, he's still quick and he's still running his way up through the pack. As looks like Anthony Fry in that 64 car is starting to go on that inside of Joe Nidick, and Alan Dixon's trying to maybe work his way up right behind him through.
And Joe's playing the long game maybe and trying to make them tires last a little while. Davey Hendricks on Facebook says, I predict wrecking for tonight. So hopefully we'll keep that to a minimum.
Yeah, well, I think
we'll see.
If they're going to run like this at some point, it's going to happen. But we'll see. We're still early, 5 laps in. The tires are probably just now getting where they feel right, probably for like 3 laps, and then you never know.
As we see that 6 of Lance Hill making quick work of Isaac Degner there. He's now hauling up to the back bumper of Greg Klein. So Lance Hill already up into 5th after starting all the way back there, and we're only on lap number 6. We'll just take a quick break from this little bit of racing to show you what's going on up here for the lead. William Brown, Justin Malarkey, and John Nidick have a little bit of space, but they're not too far apart, but they're starting to open up a little bit of a gap to the cars behind them.
Wilson on YouTube pointing out that Justin Malarkey's on a 5-race top 10 streak. Yeah, he's doing well. We joke a little bit with Malarkey about not being the best qualifier, but shoot, he's putting in the finishes. You know, he's being there kind of when it counts at the end. And thanks also to Kelton Wimmer on YouTube. We appreciate the good comments, man. That's we feel the same way you do, man.
You're talking about Justin Malarkey. He's actually leading the points in this series at this point. Manny Valdez is second, and Eric Fiorella's third. So it's definitely shown the top fives for sure.
Yeah, and a little later on, we will definitely run down through what the point standings is, because we are slowly ticking away and running out of races. So Lance Hill, even though he's locked in, he is not settling for anything, as Joe Neidick getting a little loose coming off of that corner, but managed to hang on to it and sneak down through the inside of Anthony Fry.
We got 150 miles here for the A&J's Custom Creations Indy 150.
Yes,
so, thanks to our sponsor A&J's Custom Creations, putting on a good show so far. These guys, there's zero fast repairs. This is a progressive league, Midwest Days of Thunder, and I think we've mentioned it before. You want to race from bottom to top. You want to start out in the ARCA. Now we have trucks. We have Xfinity, and then you have the granddaddy of them all, the Cup Series. So check these guys out, man. Good racing, put on a good show, and there are some fights sometimes, which is really cool.
As we see a side-by-side battle here between the 22 of Justin Barkley and the 5 of Taver Mowry. These guys have been kind of fighting it out for the last couple laps, not giving each other that little bit of a run that they might need, as looks like Taver's going to tuck in behind Barkley here and maybe try to return the favor as they exit turn 2 and go along that back straightaway. But we've seen racing all along, as Justin Malarkey is now side by side with William Brown up here at the front. This is for the lead. Now right now you got William Brown edging him out on that outside. Oh, as John Neidick maybe trying to looked like he wanted to go 3 wide there for a minute.
Yeah, making some moves early. This is exciting. I like it when guys kind of try to mix it up early here.
Oh, as Malarkey carrying a heck of a lot of steam going through that turn, just barely avoiding that outside wall. But John Neidick and William Brown are still side by side, and that's allowed Lance Hill to catch right on up. And if you're these guys and know the speed that Lance has, this isn't what you want to do.
Yeah, wow. Lance just pushed it all the way to the front. Looks like what he's going to do. Up 13 spots. And but John Neidick's he's not going to give an inch. We know that from these Ohio boys. They don't give up.
So it looks like we have Michael Pimpere coming down into the pit lane. I didn't see him tap any walls. So we're just going to have to see what's going on, or if this might be some pit strategy going on.
Yeah, it's way too early for a strategy move here. We're on lap, 11, 10? Yeah, it's kind of early for that. We'll see see if we can't figure out what happened there.
A track bar adjustment or something. I don't know. It's probably giving them a hard time. I mean, this track is it's tricky.
Yeah, so Lance has kind of figured his way through that little gaggle of cars. He's finding his way up into second. There's a little bit of a gap, about half a second, up to Justin Malarkey in the lead there. But anything can happen in this long race, as we still have some racing going on back here too for kind of like the 5th, 6th, and 7th spot. You got Isaac Degner, Greg Klein, and Manny Valdez, with Joe Neidick kind of creeping his way back up into that little bit of a mix.
Yeah, 72 and 92 running side by side here. Neither of them really want to give up an inch to the other. The 24 kind of up behind Manny here. Let's see if the draft helps either one of them. Looks like they might almost clear the 92 here, and not quite. That outside line, Greg just gets such a good run.
Well, I think it's because that inside line can't get a push out of the corner, like extend their line out towards that outside wall, because there's a car there. So they might have to lift, as the 24 getting a big time run coming shooting up the inside.
Michael Simone's behind all this, just going, y'all go ahead, I'm gonna hang back and wait and see.
Yeah, I'm looking at these lap times. They're just dropping dramatically. about a second and a half off their best lap. You know, I think that's just tire wear and the heat of the track right now.
You know, some of these drivers might be gymnastically gifted. I mean, you do kind of have to be in decent shape. But let's talk a little bit about A&J's Custom Creations on Facebook. That's where you can find them. They do custom cakes. They can make anything you can dream, is what they say. League merchandise for our league. They do tumblers, jerseys, T-shirts, everything. Just check them out. A&J's Custom Creations on Facebook. Thanks for the sponsorship, guys. But you were going to say gymnastically challenged. I'm gymnastically challenged. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm just getting so excited about what's happening on the track. I get the words tangled. I'm working harder than the real Mrs. Poindexter myself watching this. So,
y'all both work hard, you know.
You know, I wish I had that money.
As we see the 98 of Isaac Degner, he's currently got Greg Klein, you know, still sitting there on that bumper. We saw them in 2 wide racing there for quite a while, and you know that's probably used up a little bit of stuff. But you know, Greg still he is definitely a pretty decent manager of tires. As up at the front, the racing is getting even closer. Lance Hill's closed that gap to Justin Malarkey. It's down to about a tenth. He's right there on that back bumper. You know, this also has allowed William Brown to maybe conserve a little bit, and now he's pushing it back up, and he's joining his way back up towards that front.
Now, Lance Hill just been flying. He's got the fastest lap right now on the track, but Malarkey up there, he's holding his own. Good on the 73.
There's a little battle back here with Tabor in 14th position. It looks like he's going to make a little move here on Buckley.
And looking towards that inside, he's right there at that quarter panel. It looks like he might get a 2-for-1 here as he gets a heck of a run on Anthony Fry up that inside. Question is he going to be able to make the pass kind of stick as they exit turn number 2? And it looks like he will, as he jumps out right in front of that nose of the 64.
You know, Tabor Mowry, I know he has a fan club in the Busch Light for the Farmer's car. That was a nice pass, 2-for-1 for him.
Yeah, and you know, these guys usually don't get a heck of a lot of, you know, love and camera time back here, but man, I tell you, between Tabor and Pete Van Sprundle, you know, that's the difference between 13th and 17th, and man, these guys are running pretty darn close.
So I was gonna correct you, Adam, and say no, it's the Busch Latte car, but it's not. It is the Busch Light car today.
Hey, it's got them orange wheels. It looks good. Good looking machine.
Yeah.
He's run that a couple weeks in a row, I think. You know who's steady is old Red Stick Mike Simone in the 27 Never Forget machine. That's damn good looking paint job he's put on for tonight's race.
Looks like we've had a couple of people come down pit lane. So we mentioned Mr. Pimpere, but Joe Nidick in the 24 also coming down pit lane pretty early there. He pitted on lap 13. Did notice he was having a little bit of a connection issue as we have a drag race up here at the front. The 48 giving Lance Hill a big push on that inside line. Both cars being able to sneak around the 73 of Justin Malarkey. So Lance Hill now up there in the lead.
Looking back here, the 25, Eric Fiorella, he's up 7 spots. Quietly moving his way up to 11th spot. He's got a pretty cool paint, too. Check out, he's one of the Coca-Cola cars running tonight. He's got a cool little American flag going down the side. Good-looking paint there.
Yeah, speaking of America, if you have a flag and it's lit up, which it should be, make sure it's at half-staff tomorrow, 9/11, in remembrance of our heroes and those lost. These guys have put on a great tribute to that with all these paint schemes. It's really cool to see all the different paint schemes out here.
as we can kind of see here, a little bit of a battle going on between the 98 and the 72. And man, when was the last time that you've seen the 72 of Manny Valdez sit in 6th, down 2 positions, and not be working his way up through this field?
He just had a little trouble early, and it just seemed like he's not been able to really recover from it completely. I mean, there's a spot he's trying to take from Isaac Degner in that 98 Sam Adams. Yeah, and he completes the pass, so he made up one of them. But yeah, kind of not indicative of what we usually see with Manny. He's usually up there in at least the top 3, but he knows it's a long race. Man, he might be playing a little tire management here.
Yeah, he probably is. He's still sitting in P5, guys. Let's not get it twisted.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
a young guy, but he ain't stupid.
And so we scoot back up to this kind of lead couple of cars. Justin Malarkey was able to work his way back around William Brown, so Justin Malarkey back up into 2nd. Lance Hill has about a 2nd and a 10th lead over him. So I think for Justin Malarkey, it's going to be all about the tire saving and pit strategy as of right now, because Lance is on a mission, as Taver Mowry is side by side with Matt Forns up here fighting over 13th.
Like Joe Nidick had a connection issue, incoming packet loss. He might need to borrow some packets from somebody, but he was able to come back and get reconnected.
Yeah, and he's only 2 laps down, so he could still be in it if we have some caution. So far, super clean racing, at a track like this. So that's, kind of what we expect to see from these guys. They are the top tier of Midwest Days of Thunder.
That's
They're
you.
great computers. He lost packets and then rejoined and only lost 2 laps. Damn it.
I was going to say, as we have a battle that's been brewing this entire time, it's Greg Klein and Isaac Degner. These two have been pretty much inseparable this race so far. And man, it seems like when one guy gets a run, the other guy's able to just barely hang on to whatever spot they're trying to hold. That's Eric Fiorello coming down pit road.
Ooh, wonder what his strategy is. He must not like those tires.
Was stopping at 20 and 40. Be
Yeah.
my guess. Splitting
Cutting
it
it into thirds. Yeah.
Yeah, with Derek Schimmel, both those guys are angry idiots. They are, I guess, sharing that pit strategy. And Greg Klein thinking he might be able to push it just a little bit further than them. But, it's as this race kind of gets along and these cars keep getting separated, it's interesting to see when people decide that they want to come on down to the pits.
Yeah, the 26 of Buckley and now the 80 of Sneaky Pete Van Sprundle. Both passing the boss man, Taver Mowry, in the 5. I don't know if Taver's getting ready to pit here. Or...
Greg Klein's coming down.
See, them idiots are sticking together. I mean that in the, the team sense. They're the angry idiots team, but there's a couple of angry guys on that team. So,
and you can see here, Joe Nidick, he is on fresher tires, so he's going to be working his way up through this field probably pretty quickly. I don't think he's going to be able to get his laps back the hard way. But he's still
the 25 and the 6 go around. The 6 is in the outside wall. Turn 3.
Turn 3, good.
25 back rolling. Caution is out, so...
Yellow flag coming out.
Bear's going to get that lap, I think. Get that lap back.
Well, that was interesting with the leader there.
Yeah, we're going to have to take another camera view of that, because
Goodness.
Just got to see what's happening. Slow it down and give us a chase cam. Might even...
It didn't look like the 25 incurred any damage on that one.
Yeah, it looked like he held his line, and it looks like 6 just came down on him. I'm not sure. I know the 6 was leading, but...
that is kind
don't know.
what it looks like. We'll play that one more time here.
2 guys fight for the same position there.
The 25 running up that inside. He does have fresh tires.
Oh, yeah.
So he might have been running a little quicker. But yeah, that's a 25 of Eric Fiorello and the 6 of Lance Hill getting involved there.
Yeah, the 6 probably, if you're going to be racing guys with brand new tires, maybe give him a little bit of room.
Well, it looks like he's disconnected as well. I don't know what's happening out there on the track, but I didn't see anything crazy about that. It was just a racing deal. I don't see any. There was no.
That's what it looked like. It looked like a racing deal.
It looked like the 25 Eric Fiorello was holding his line. 6 came down a little bit. Maybe you just misjudged it. Spotter wasn't on. I don't know. But it wasn't anything intentional.
No, but I will tell you what this is going to help. This is going to help those people that pitted relatively closely to that caution. They're going to be able to stay out and gain a few positions here, as just about the entire field, other than those that have pitted, coming down a pit lane.
So you're going to have angry idiots 1, 2, 3 maybe if they don't pit again.
Well, that's the other thing too, is
Greg.
they might be trapped a lap down.
Oh, I see.
Well, it's a gamble. Every time you go to the pits, on a big track like this, you just don't know if you're going to get stuck or not. Eric Fiorello's front right and the whole front end basically has a little bit of damage. Do you think that's going to slow him down here at a big track like this?
Aero's pretty important on the straights. Now, if he can get behind Klein or Schimmel, for that matter, up in front, they're not going to cycle. I'm trying to see where everybody's at on here.
So
they're still going to be in the back, but they're on fresher tires.
They're on fresher. I would say they're about equal on the tires.
My bad, I'm sorry, folks. I'm looking at. See, this is what I get for staring at the stupid scoring table.
Yeah.
It gets confusing.
But instead of being completely trapped a lap down, they're able to stay out there and get a lap back. So it looks like everyone will be on or just about everybody will be on that lead lap. I think Michael Pimpere also stayed out, so he'll get his lap back. I think, unfortunately, Joe Neidick might be the only one that kind of gets, I don't want to say screwed, but, gets the worst possible outcome out of that situation, because I don't believe he ended up getting the lucky dog.
No, he didn't. Mike Pimpere got it, but Joe will get the next one.
Yeah, he's only a lap down for
he's
losing
one lap
connection.
down, yeah.
He's doing pretty good, actually.
That's pretty damn good, yeah.
Yeah, so I wouldn't worry about that. It looks like Lance Hill has disconnected, like we mentioned before, so that's tough road for him.
Plenty of racing left in the season.
Oh yeah, and he's also already easily locked in.
So.
He's locked in. He's currently sitting 4th in the standings with 4 wins.
Well, here's the thing, Alan, is you can't earn any bonus points if you disconnect. Then bonus points carry over. So
yeah, and that's right now he's got 19 of those. So he's looking pretty good on that with, I think, the only person, Manny Valdez, having more than him. Manny's got 22.
Speaking of Manny, he is back up to 2nd place now, right there with Malarkey in the front.
As these guys start to get all bunched back together here, and I think
Here we go.
We're extending the caution.
We had an issue. I heard him on the radio. The scoring didn't really work out. Pimpere was supposed to get his lap back, but apparently he was not able to get around the field in time. So they're going to delay it. Pimpere's going to get his lap back, and
Joe Neidick will be 1 lap down, I think.
There you go. Yep. Thank you for that.
It's an iRacing deal. It's a huge track. We have a problem with iRacing sometimes with large tracks and super small tracks. It kind of gets confusing. iRacing is a great platform. It's simulation, not a game. But there's little issues that occur, so they're just gonna go around one more time just to get
Here they
these guys
come.
their
All
lap
right.
back.
Getting reset here.
Getting reset to take the green flag this time around. And, you know, we're almost already at halfway here, boys.
Getting pretty close. 5 laps shy of it.
Yeah, super clean. I hope. Obviously, cautions breed cautions. We've heard that a million times. But with these guys, I'm not quite sure. I think they kind of know their boundaries. They know what their tires can do, and they definitely know their neighbor here. We've had some incidents, and I'd like to see another one. Just for my own personal gratification.
Everybody's relatively on the pretty much on the same pit strategy within a couple of laps, except for the 21 of Pimpere who wanted to get his lap back there. But I was thinking today about something to say about this, and I'll say it now. I guess I can't wait for our country to get back to the way we were on September 12th, 2001. I know it was a time when we were all united by a tragedy, but hopefully it won't take another tragedy for everybody to kind of see eye to eye again and love their neighbor like we used to.
Yeah, that's a great point. And if you were around during that time, it was amazing. It didn't matter your race, creed, nothing. Black, white, blue, purple, brown, yellow, everyone was an American. And it took that tragic day to bring us together as we're going to green here, bro.
As the pace car coming down pit road here, getting ready to take this green flag. Justin Malarkey up here in the lead with William Brown, Manny Valdez. Oh, as we almost have 3 wide action right from the start. Looks like a very good start from Justin Malarkey up there at the front, getting a little bit of a push from that 48. So Manny Valdez is going to be sitting there in third. Joe Neidick, not too bad of a restart there himself. He's able to hang on into fourth, and we're kind of single filed out there, but we're 2 wide racing back here. We got Greg Klein, was stuck that lap down, but he's now able to start making his way back up through the pack, currently working on that inside of the 10 of Matt Forns.
Isaac Wilson asking on YouTube, why was Justin on the outside if he came out on pit road first? Man, I don't know. That's something that we're going to have to probably go back and look at.
We got a little bumping going on back here with Klein and whatnot, looks like.
Yeah,
Tabor Mowry, 3 wide.
Side by side, Klein and Fry, but you've also got Forns, Fiorello, and Mowry. They were 3 wide there for a moment. They're still 2 wide by the looks of it back here. Fiorello, doesn't look like that damage is hindering them all that much right now.
Going in, a lot of single file stuff here.
Yeah, he's just so close to Tabor. I worry about net code when you get that close to somebody. It was a little close there.
So I want to talk about the 80 car right now, because right now he's our hard charger. He's up 5 spots, sitting in 9th place. The 80 car of Pete Van Sprundle out of Long Island. I'm sure, being a New Yorker, it's, 9/11/01 is a day I know he'll never forget. Check out that tribute paint. He's got all the faces. I think those are faces of service members. If they're not service members, they're probably victims from that day. We haven't spoken to him about his paint, but pretty awesome. Have all those portraits on that car. Great tribute.
As right behind him, you got Greg Klein inside Michael Buckley, trying to make that pass work, but Buckley not quite giving up just yet. Still side by side as they I believe they're coming through turn number 4 right now, and it looks like Greg will be able to get that done. And that's pretty much that for there. As we take a look back up here at the lead, you got Justin Malarkey and William Brown currently 1 and 2, with Manny Valdez sitting in third. Well, we got a quick little break in this action. Let's let us go take a quick look back at that restart to see exactly what happened there.
I don't know, but it looked like the outside got a good run from my vantage point.
Justin Malarkey was starting out there on that outside. He got a big push from that 48. So I don't know what was going on.
And the argument for Isaac was that the 73 should have started inside front row, but I don't know. It's something we can get admins to go back and look at. But it might be just where the stripe is when you come out of the pits there. I'm not sure.
As we just pass halfway, William Brown not giving up too much room to Justin Malarkey here as he enters turns 1 and 2. Looking up that inside, it looks like he might be able to get the run. He does. He's still there on that inside as they go down this long back straightaway, side by side, down towards turn number 3, going about 180 miles an hour, back down to 150. And William Brown able to get that pass completed, and that's going to give Manny... Oh, as the 8 of John Nidek starts to peek to the inside of Manny. So Manny was not able to make use of that loss of momentum from Justin Malarkey. Oh, as we got a car loose back here. It looks like that was the 98 of Isaac Degner. Maybe, man, bouncing in and out, bouncing off of that wall, just not getting that car settled down.
Yeah, and all that fighting is helping Greg Klein in the 92 car. He's watching it all in front of him, and it looks like he's making up a little ground. He passed Sneaky Pete Van Sprindle just a while ago as he made a 2-for-1 pass, so he's staying on his little line and paying attention to what he needs to be getting done and catching up to him.
Currently back here, a battle for 14th. You got Tabor Mowry and Eric Fiorello there side by side for quite a bit, and they still are. Man, as much as this thing's starting to spread out, we got racing action going on all over the place as Isaac Degner is getting passed by Mike Simone up the inside. So Mike Simone's starting to make some moves here late in this race.
It's getting fun now. Yahtzee.
Yeah, it is. And what I've noticed about this league, Brown, is nobody gives an inch, you know. They just kind of race their race, and you don't like it, you're going to have to find your way around me.
Yeah, as Manny is still right there on that back bumper of Justin Malarkey. William Brown opening up a little bit of a gap because there was some fighting going on right behind him. And if you're him, especially as we're down to about 27 laps to go and just one pit stop away from this race coming to an end, you know, this every little second matters here.
Yeah, at this point, you know, you got to put it in the marathon mode and try to save those tires as much as you can, because really, if there's no caution, you may want to push this thing as far as you can go, you know, to get that extra time out on the track.
And so. Michael Pimpere coming down pit road. He last pitted on lap 9, so kind of expected him to pit early here once again. But the question is, is he going to have enough to stay out there the rest of this entire time?
We had a question from Isaac Wilson on YouTube about, did they implement leader chooses lane on restarts? Because there was a question about why Malarkey started on the outside. I talked with one of the admins. He said they have not. They might implement that next season. But I bet if we go back and look at the replay after this deal, you know, we can get a little bit more information from there. But yeah, that's the official word from the admins, is that not this season, but maybe next season we'll do that leader chooses lane.
As Mike Simone is starting to battle his way back up once again. He's now trying to make a pass on the 22 of Justin Barkley. So Mike Simone back up to where he started today, up into 5th. As Manny Valdez is side by side up here with Justin Malarkey.
I That's not a real surprise now, is it?
No, and because of that loss of momentum, John Knight is starting to look through that inside as well. And, John's been pretty patient here. He's, been timing his moves pretty well. And just like that, Justin Malarkey out of that top 3. And John Knight, welcome to a possible podium position.
Ooh, yeah, we got a long way to go for that. Track's cooling down, looking like 89 degrees right now. We got a little cloud cover, so that could help these tires. Yeah, it could help these tires and these guys out on the track. But mention a little bit about how this team racing works here. Latte Motorsports right now is in the points lead for the team, with Angry Idiots and Bash Brothers right behind them.
You got Isaac Degner trying to get a pass on Barkley right now, side by side, as they head on down this front straightaway. And, you also got Alan Dixon. We've mentioned before, he's a very patient fella, but, he might be able to work his way up through this pack just by sitting and being patient.
23 to go at the line, looks like, and eventually he's going to run out of patience and going to start trying to press the issue and pass some cars. I don't know. It's been a pretty calm race so far, just the one caution.
As he's looking to also pass Justin Barkley, he got a little bit more of a run and the draft down in that back straightaway. So Isaac Degner and Alan Dixon able to move around him. And so now Greg Klein is sitting behind Justin Barkley, trying to move his way back up from being trapped a lap down, but was able to get it back with that caution.
Yeah, I think Mr. Mac and Cheese, Justin Barkley, is just like, hey, man, I don't want no part of this. Y'all go ahead.
He said, take that position, my guy. I'll be back later.
Exactly.
Looks like 48 to 72. That interval up front still holding pretty steady. These guys not losing or gaining anything on each other right now. They're just kind of clicking off laps.
As Craig Klein's able to pass Justin Barkley there. While we're kind of sitting here and enjoying this little bit of action, you see Justin Malarkey's been caught up by Mike Simone. Mike Simone's been running very quick here, especially in this later stages of this race. Kind of look at what the bubble picture is. I believe that the top 16 are what go into that playoff. So you got Stephen McComas currently sitting there in 14th. He is unfortunately not with us here today. Michael Buckley sitting in 15th overall. So he's hoping to get some good points here. Mike Pepper sitting currently on that 16th spot. So unfortunate for him that he had some... the pit strategy may not be working out for him quite well, so his race not 100% the way he wanted it, as both Justin Barkley and Eric Fiorillo down pit road.
Yeah, Fiorillo sticking to that splitting it into thirds thing, huh, Adam?
Yeah, he is, and so is Justin Barkley. Maybe they have something up their sleeve. I mean, I don't know. They're hoping for a caution, I would assume, a little bit later.
Yeah, they kind of got tired of waiting, didn't they?
Yeah, well, those tires are no good at this point, so might as well get some more.
You think we'll see Schemmel in next lap?
I would think so.
They stick together
Mr. G.I. Joe.
As Alan Dixon is trying to scoot up that inside of the 98 of Degner, but quite not there. And I do need to correct myself a little bit here. Michael Pempere does have a win on the season, so he is locked in. So Justin Barkley and Corey Wakefield are kind of 17th and 18th right now overall. So these two definitely need some points. Corey Wakefield, don't see him here tonight, so unfortunate that he's not able to join us. William Brown currently sitting in 19th, but he's got a couple wins, so he's a lock in for those playoffs.
19 cars is, a relatively small field for a track this big. So I think that has a lot to do with why I've only seen one caution tonight.
Yeah, well, and I think we're going to see a lot more after this season. A lot of interest in this league. These guys do it right, and there's going to be some people moving up. So we're going to have some higher car counts in Cup, as we have some huge car counts in the Xfinity Series as well as the ARCA Series. So
And so
looking forward to that.
So we saw there Mike Simone passing Justin Malarkey almost like he was standing still. I think Justin might have lifted and just gave up the position in favor of saving tires for a little bit longer of a run. As we kind of look at a little group behind him, you got Greg Klein, Alan Dixon, Isaac Degner, all nose to tail here.
Well, Isaac Wilson also saying the same thing about Justin Malarkey. He said, he just might be saving tires, saving fuel, just kind of let some folks go and wait for that last pit stop to happen, and then maybe putting on the pressure then.
Alan Dixon and Isaac Degner going at it here in turn 1.
Yeah, side by side, and if you're Greg Klein, this is kind of what you want to see, but you need to time it just right, as he's going to now get a run on Alan Dixon up that inside. So Alan Dixon being a little bold with that move, but getting the short end of the draw there and losing some big-time momentum.
Yeah, well, so far, super clean racing. Everybody's going to do karate in the garage together. I don't see any fighting. It's kind of silly. Yeah, we got to have some of them Ohio boys start acting up. We want to have a brawl here in Indiana.
As
Planning to do tomorrow. I know there's some community commemoration ceremonies and stuff going on around here. I didn't know if you guys were going to stay home with your families, or if y'all just it's a regular work day for a lot of folks, and it's just how it is.
That is exactly what it is for me. It will just be I can't say quite another work day. I know my thoughts will be kind of elsewhere as I'm driving along, but that's just how it goes sometimes. As Anthony Fry and Taver Mowry coming down pit road as we're coming across the line here. 17 laps to go. These laps ticking away pretty quick, as Manny Valdez has closed that gap up to William Brown by a little bit. So that gap for first place is starting to narrow down a little bit. John Nidek's fallen off quite a bit from these two, but he's got to watch out, because Mike Simone, he's been pretty hot here. He's starting to move his way up and maybe look at taking over third spot.
Yeah, just a quarter second off the back bumper of John. We'll see if Red Stick Mike's got something for him here in the closing laps.
Well, they're all on the same strategy. The only one that really isn't is Greg Klein. It looks like Derek Schimmel on lap 20 was the last time he pitted, so things should start happening now. As it does.
As Manny and William, and same thing with looks like John Nidek. So Mike Simone's going to inherit the lead here. Justin Malarkey is also going to stay out. Same thing with Alan Dixon, Pete Van Sprundle, and Michael Buckley. You got Isaac Degner and Greg Klein pitting as well. So I would expect Derek Schimmel, and yes, Derek Schimmel coming down pit lane right now. So if I'm these top five that are staying out, man, you got to think about pitting soon, because you're going to lose just too much time to those newer tires.
I mean, did these guys save enough fuel? We talked about the 73 maybe saving. You may have been saving fuel too. I wouldn't put it past a couple of these other cats that, they're clutching in way early going into some of these turns.
Oh, what a crazy exit out of pit road by Manny, when William Brown. Manny got the best of him there.
As you just saw the difference between fresh tires and older ones, as both Taver Mowry and Anthony Fry able to get around Mike Simone pretty easily. Alan Dixon, Pete Van Sprundle, and Michael Buckley now coming down pit lane, so that just kind of leaves Justin Malarkey, Mike Simone, and Matt Fornes that have not pitted this second time quite yet, as Matt Fornes now comes down.
Everybody's got a Yahtzee and eat a hot dog at some point.
Yeah, I didn't know if Fornes was going to stay on that same strategy with Simone and Malarkey and just kind of chance it and stay out, but he did eventually come down. Yeah, are these guys going to have enough fuel?
I don't believe so, and I think it's just a matter of time till we see him come down. Yes, as Mike Simone now diving down pit road. So Justin Malarkey being the only car not pitted quite yet, but again, I think he's gonna have to.
So they cycle around. It's probably going to be Manny in the lead with Brown right behind him.
As these guys are nose to tail. I mean, this is essentially a fight for second and third as of right now. But like I said, I think Justin Malarkey still needing to come down pit lane. He's losing a whole bunch of time.
Yeah, he's losing a ton of time, but he's so far ahead. But it's ticking down quick, it looks like. Malarkey might have just bit off more than he could chew. We'll see. He's got, 30 seconds on the next car behind him? That might be enough as we're coming across, fixing to go, 4 to go?
14 to go right now.
14, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
60 lap race.
Yeah, 14 to go, and if you're Justin Malarkey, you're asking for William Brown and Manny Valdez do what it looks like they're about to do, and that's going to be fight it out. As
wow,
William was looking outside, inside, outside, inside, trying to find a good place to put his car, but using a little better judgment there, and not just diving it on in there. And with those pit stops, because everyone pitted at a whole entire different times, the field spread out even more. So it's battles like this that matter very, very much.
Brown just set his fastest lap, 52.26. So he's on the move. Malarkey's still holding on up there.
Yeah, the gap's come down to 26 seconds.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be either a matter of time till, like I said, he pits, or these guys use up their tires, and that gap just is going to start closing slower and slower.
It's hard to think, at what point do the tires kind of level out and the times not be so drastically different, as Malarkey's still out there.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking a lap time difference of 56.6 to 52.5.
That's huge. So he needs to come down here and get some.
If my math is right, he ain't gonna make it.
No, he's not gonna make it, but he's still staying out there.
He's leading laps though, and that's good for bonus points. You get the most laps led. I don't think he's quite in that category yet.
As we had a whole slew of cars, I wasn't able to see who that was. I think that might have been the 21 of Pempere having a little bit of an issue, as we got, like Taver Mowry, Anthony Fry, Michael Buckley, Pete Van Sprundle. This is a battle for a top 10 spot.
Yeah, well, I mean, get after it. It's the time to start fighting. Literally. Let's make some things happen here.
Mr. Chachi88 saying on YouTube, sad that the Vigilante race got canceled Wednesday night. Yeah, we were all kind of sad about that, just because, we were expecting a fun opening season race for them guys, and just iRacing had some technical glitches, and hey, that's just how it goes. And Isaac Wilson saying he remembers where he was at on 9/11. Woke up for school that morning, the news being on with the towers on fire, and all the teachers' minds were elsewhere that day. I think all of ours were.
Yeah, well, some of us working men back then, I don't think we slept for days, but that's a whole other thing. Because I'm looking at Pete Van Sprundle, and he's fighting Buckley, for the 11th spot here.
Yeah, slowly kind of trying to work his way up. Greg Klein has worked his way up into a top 6 position, and he's not too far off from Isaac Degner. We've seen those two been battling pretty hard, as Justin Barkley coming down pit road once again. But the battle up here at the front is just getting closer and closer, as we're 10 laps to go. The Manny and William both are just still kind of nose to tail. You know, maybe they just realized, you know, if we just work together, we'll catch up to Justin all that much quicker.
Malarkey's still out there. Gap's down to 12.4. But sticking with it. Staying out there.
Oh, it's a 48. Man, maybe missing a mark there. Having to check way up. So Manny Valdez able to get a big-time run away from that 48. It's also going to let John Nidek squeeze his way back up a little bit more, closer to a third. But that gap now down to 10 seconds with 9 laps to go.
There's some good battles out there. And I talked to Mr. English the other night about it. Thanks to all the guys that were working in the military that night and that morning, 9/11. And as he said, especially thank you to the military guys that joined up afterwards. So big thank you to all y'all, man. That's why this country is what it is.
I joined.
It's Tabor Mallory and Anthony Fry getting together, and that's going to bring out a yellow flag.
Holy crap. That's what some guys were waiting for, I think.
Yeah, Tabor got caught up in that one.
Man, man.
Where's his fan club tonight? He normally has one.
Yeah, usually his grandma's on. So the question is, how many is Malarkey going to pit? I think he's pretty much got to at this point. Otherwise, he's just going to get blown away. And how many guys are going to follow him down pit road?
Oh, that's a great question, actually. I don't know, but I'm looking forward to seeing that because that's a strategy move for sure.
Man, yeah, and unfortunate there for Tabor Mallory and Anthony Fry. They were both having pretty solid races. It looked like they were running pretty clean, but looked like the car started getting a little tight and, you know, just ran out of room there.
Two cars trying to occupy the same piece of racetrack. That's what happens sometimes.
Well, that's about like $2 and 10 acres, you know.
Yeah.
Who's gonna own it?
That's
Who's
good.
gonna own it? Yeah, who's gonna own it? Especially getting this time of year. So let's see if Malarkey comes down here. Huh?
You know, it might be one of those. You know, we all kind of, you know, internally in the Discord kind of make fun of Manny a little bit for playing the games about coming down pit road and whatnot, but this might be a situation where it might come into play a little bit. As we're gonna take a look here. And looks like we will have the entire field. No, the 8 of John Nidek staying out.
Oh, look at that.
Tires are 10 laps old. That might not be old enough to make too big of a difference here.
Yeah, hey, I don't think that strategy's wrong.
No, you got to take a chance sometimes.
Yeah, I mean you're that
Yeah.
close, you might as well.
Yeah. Something might happen here in the closing laps. So Schimmel also looks like he's stayed out.
That it does, but I believe he is he a lap down?
Angry.
Oh, you might be right. He might be getting a lap back.
As Justin Malarkey just beaten William Brown off the line. Manny Valdez coming up behind them. Michael Buckley, Isaac Degner, Greg Klein, Alan Dixon, Mike Simone, and Pete Van Sprendel. That's going to be your top 10 for this restart.
Yeah, and A&J's Custom Creations 150 at Indianapolis kind of turning into a little battle here. So
Strategy battle.
Yeah, 5. I mean, you gotta use brains in this thing for some reason. I don't know. It's not just about turning left, you know. You gotta use a little bit of your brain.
Yeah. So as we are coming down to the wire here. Oh, excuse me, as I bumped my mic. We're gonna take just a quick break for station identification, and we'll be back for the green flag and the conclusion of this. What's turning out to be extremely exciting race here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Once again, 2 series for us here, the Midwest Days of Thunder Cup Series. Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Rockingham 150 brought to you by Jinx Shifters. Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Jason over here, Signature Esports.
And welcome back to this race. We're going to have 4 laps to go when they take this green flag, and it looks like Taver Mowry's race might have ended a little prematurely here, as he's still sitting in pit road before this thing goes back to green flag racing, and especially with essentially a sprint finish coming here at the end with John Neidig going to be leading us off here on that inside line. You know what it's time to do? That's time to buckle up, strap on that drinking helmet, and throw inhibition out that window. Man, it's been a long one, but it's time to go racing. Pace car leading this field back through turn number 3 and through 4, coming down pit lane. These guys are all bunched up, back and ready to go. Time to see who some friends are and who is not. As we come across the line, 2 wide up here at the front, both lines getting solid pushes from the cars behind them. You got Justin Malarkey on that outside, getting a big-time push from Manny Valdez, working his way, his nose just inching in front of John Neidig as we got contact as he comes down across the nose.
73 is involved in a big wreck back here.
Well, Brown, and I was going to ask you before I didn't have time, but I think I knew the answer. If you're a bookie, which you are, is there going to be a caution? And I think we just answered that right there. Hey, get antsy, man. Trying to win this race.
Oh, man.
We can just see as it looks like the 73 just dropped down a little bit too much, maybe expecting that 8 to go a little bit higher. Or go a little bit lower, excuse me, and then got involved with the 25 getting collected in that. And man, I'll tell you,
God,
that 31 of Alan Dixon, he might need some new pants after that one. Let's take a quick cockpit view of what he might have saw there. As all he sees is smokes and tire out in the wall outside of him, and man, whew, unfortunate.
The 25's bad luck continues as he's caught up in that and not able to dodge anything. You know, Eric's been solid in the points. It's just to get a decent finish, he just can't make it happen. It's like he's got an anti-rabbit's foot in his pocket at these racetracks. Man, it's time to get somebody to throw some holy water on that car or something.
Well, somebody needs to. You talk about luck, though. John Neidig, he got into that a little bit, but he held it. I don't know. Let me look at the front end of his car. I don't know if he got any damage.
You know, it looks pretty clean. I think it was just enough contact in the corner, or the corner entry anyway, just to upset the car of Malarkey. But you know, like I said, I think that's just a communication issue, maybe between the AI spotter, or if he's got a real spotter or whatever, and where John was at the track, because John was holding his line, and the 73 just coming down. Maybe, like I said, expecting him to maybe drop a little lower than what he did.
Check the roster. There's nobody has a live spotter today. They're relying on iRacing spotters, so it's not perfect. It's not a perfect system. You can't always account for a car below you or a car above you. So it looks like this will be the first of 2 attempts at a green-white checker.
Yeah, it's a computer. Let's just be honest. I think Manny Valdez, I'll be watching out for him. I mean, he knows Cops comes on at 4, and he's going to be trying to get up to that drum set. So I'd be a little concerned about the 72 in my rear view if I was 48 and the number 8 of John Nidek Jr. So that's something to think about in this last lap.
And we did see Manny. He pushed Justin Malarkey pretty well on that outside line. So John's actually maybe getting a good push from Manny as Isaac Degner is going to be starting behind William Brown. So Isaac Degner having a very good race here today.
You're the 8 right now. What's going through your head, Adam? I mean, your tires are 10 laps older.
Yeah.
You're trying to hold on to the lead. You're hoping somebody can give you a little push. What's going through your head?
Well, I'm going to just put myself in his head. He's from Ohio, kind of like David Allen Coe, Johnny Paycheck. These crazy guys, the wild Ohio boys. I think he's going to try to strategically lead this race and maybe block someone. It may get him killed. I don't know. But that's kind of what I think he would do. He's going to drive through his rear view a little bit. So
I know Gavin Marlin's not here tonight, but he might take a little advice from Gavin Marlin's little motto, which is drive fast and take chances. So he might be taking some chances tonight to throw a block here and there. Hopefully make it work in his favor, but them old tires are going to hurt him.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to get the run. He's going to have to use that rear view and the blocking. And there's a couple laps to go. All is fair here. Love and war. So do what you got to do.
I mean, he's already taken chances. He did not pit with the rest of the guys. So, like you said, he is on 10-lap older tires than these guys. And, we'll just have to see how it plays out. I mean, just based off of that restart, it didn't look like that inside line got checked up too bad. It looked like his restart was A-OK. But, as the run kind of goes along, I think we might be surprised, but at the same time, we may not. We'll just have to sit here and find out as they're stacked back up 2 wide. Getting ready to take this green flag once again. And like you said, Mr. English, the first attempt of 2 for a green-white checker finish here. And, for a race that's been spread out but still had some action, I can't think of a better way than to end it off with a good old sprint. As the pace car coming down pit road, green flags waving, and away we go. Looks like, again, pretty... as we got wrecking going on in the back.
I think the 26 missed a gear or spun them or something. We got cars that went over into the pit lane. Never mind, the camera's facing backwards. I'm an idiot.
Well, nonetheless, there was some action going on back there.
Yeah, let's take a quick replay of that. See what exactly happened. Man,
They missed a gear, I think.
you can just see how it's not like your traditional oval track that's got some grass on that inside. You got walls completely surrounding you as the 92. I think that's what it was. He either missed a gear or spun the tires, and man, talk about carnage.
At 26, I think the 92 got into him because of that. Oh man, it collected a ton of cars, including the 25 again.
I was about to say. Oh.
And the 5
Yeah, there.
of Maori. Oh man.
Yeah, I just finished this thing.
It looked like a scene from the Blues Brothers where all the cops are trying to turn around and after the big giant wreck under the whacker, the lower whacker.
Pier 1 imports.
In the mall, yeah. I mean,
The
there's nowhere to
Chryslers
go.
are-
They might as well be in the mall.
Yeah.
Like Brown was saying, I mean, you're kind of contained right there on that front stretch.
Yeah. The new Chryslers are in. Exactly. I mean, that's a great analogy, though, because it is kind of like driving to the mall in Chicago.
Yeah.
It's really tight. There's nowhere to go. There's no grass. I mean, concrete or wall, that's your choice.
So we got another green-white checker to do it. So
Yep.
if they don't settle it after this.
As we took a ride there with Derek Schimmel, for being where he was, I think that was about the best outcome he could get. A little bit of contact, but he was able to squeak his way through all of that contact and carnage that was going on around him. And don't look now, William Brown was able to just nose out John Neidick for that lead spot as the caution came out.
And I just don't think John's got enough tires in him to get ahead of him at this point. He's going to have to do something real sneaky on that restart. As Derek Schimmel, the angry idiot, is the hard charger of the day so far.
Good on the 96, up 11 spots. Sitting in 8th place right now.
A&J's Custom Creations, Indianapolis 150. Hey, we're going to have a final restart here. It's going to be turning out to be a good race.
Yeah, and once again, thank you to A&J's Custom Creations, making tumblers, T-shirts. Got a whole bunch of printing needs, and their designs look awesome. And big time thank you for sponsoring this race here. This is a very, very special race here today, and you guys do some great work, and we 100% appreciate it. I know we do, and the league as well.
Yeah, check them out on Facebook. I'm not on Facebook, but I'm sure you can Google it. Get on the Facebook, A&J's Custom Creations.
Davey Hendricks might have been right about this race, because he said, I predict wrecking. Well, it took a little while. We're getting a little bit of it here towards the end.
Well, at the end, you kind of understand these guys are trying to WIN,
Yeah.
So you kind of get it. Now it's all out. There's no holds barred.
They're trying to WIN, and they had a couple of their regular front finishers, RUNNOFT. So it's going to be interesting. We're going to have to pay attention to the front end.
Give me that Cajun. Speak it in Cajun. I don't understand your spelling.
I don't know. No, I don't know any of that. That was off of a movie too.
Run off? They run off?
As they start to stack back up here, the field of 19 cars has now trickled down to 13, with Justin Barkley sitting there in 13th. He's a couple laps down, but you also got 12 cars in front of him, all on the lead lap. Pete Van Sprundle, Joe Neidick, Taver Mowry. Those are kind of your battle for a top 10, and then you got Michael Pimpere, Derek Schimmel, Mike Simone, Greg Klein, Alan Dixon, all looking to eye at maybe a top 5, and Manny Valdez sitting there in 4th, Isaac Degner in 3rd, and John Neidick in 2nd, all chasing after the leader, William Brown, trying to pick up another win on his already very much a full of win season. Trying to get win number 3 here, as pace car is going to be exiting turn number 4 right now and come down pit lane one last time. And our final attempt at a green-white checker. Man, boys, it's all come down to this. Pace car coming down, and these guys are ready to go to battle once again. green flags waving, and away we go. It looks like the 8 maybe getting a little squiggly under acceleration there, but not too bad from him. He's going to be able to hang on to that outside just a little bit, but he's going to lose ground to William Brown. William Brown securely there in first. Isaac Degner squeaking his way up into second, being able to keep that inside line or running, and then you got Manny Valdez sitting there in.
Yeah, he had to check up big time. The 31 made it around him, and so did the 92. I can't believe the 31 got around him.
Hey, you got Isaac Degner there sitting in second. Also got Greg Klein working his way up. He's now looking to the inside. He's going to be able to take away a third place there. He's got Manny right there on his tail. William Brown, Isaac Degner using every inch of that track, running all the way out to that outside wall. And, man, so those two have a little bit of a thing going on. But, man, the battle for third is just getting hotter and hotter as Joe Neidig trying to throw his name into the mix, making a run on that outside, not being able to make anything stick. Greg Klein starting to run away a little bit from Manny as they go down this long back straightaway. Big gap between William Brown and Isaac Degner. So the only thing standing in the way of William Brown is 2 more corners of picking up win number 3. As here we go through turn number 3. Isaac going as hard as he can down through turn number 4, trying to close that gap as much as he can all the way to that outside wall, coming down across the line. William Brown picking up 3rd win of the season here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Isaac Degner picking up the fastest lap of the race on that final lap, with Greg Klein finishing here in 3rd.
He barely snuck it out from Greg. Wow, and Joe just dropped a little bit like a rock there, and that was the tires. So
yeah, John was trying to hold his own up there, and a couple of times the outer line stalled out and kind of hurt a couple of cars that were behind him, including the 31. But oh man, it was a gamble. You know, what are you going to do? You got to try something different.
Joe, John, they're both from Ohio. They're Ohio boys.
Yeah. I know who you meant.
Either way, yeah. But man, Degner and Klein really ran some quick laps there at the end.
Texas Travis Eccles on YouTube saying, looks like I missed some action tonight. Yeah, man, we missed you in this one. This would have been a fun one.
As got our leader currently doing his burnouts. We're going to start our interviews here with our 3rd place finisher. That would be Mr. Greg Klein. And Greg, man, you and Isaac were having a heck of a battle there just about through that entire race, and then bringing it down to this last restart, man. Tell us about how you snuck your way up into a 3rd place finisher.
I guess a couple of guys around me kind of got loose and slowed down, and I was able to, just kind of jump under them and get a good run on them. But, man, I thought it was over when Buckley missed a shift there, and I kind of rammed into him. But, man, it was a good race. It was fun. It was long. Me and Degner were battling quite hard most of the race, so we had a good time.
It's definitely fun to watch, and up 5 spots from where you started, and great. Your last lap was actually your fastest lap too, at 52:23. So those new tires definitely helped y'all out there towards the end. Just getting them broke in and saving a little bit just for the last lap there.
Yeah. Tires are so important here because there's so much fall off of this track. It just eats the tires alive. So, man, once got them warmed up good, that last lap felt good, and man, came out with a 3rd place.
Yeah, well, I mean, 3rd place not bad. You're kind of moving your way back up. You, heck of a run there. What were you seeing in the last lap? I think Joe was in front of you. What happened there?
I wasn't seeing who was in front of me so much, but I saw 2 of them. I don't know if they got together or if they just got a little loose, but they really got slowed down. So I was able to really just jump down to the inside and get by both of them.
Yeah, you put the hammer down. Hey, good job, man. P3, not bad for Angry Idiots. And your little partner there, Derek Schimmel, is the hard charger of the race. He's up 9.
Yeah, Derek did. Derek had a really good race. Man, points are starting to come together, so we're looking good for the playoffs, and man, I'm ready to go.
All right, man. Do you got any finishing words here, or any shout outs or anything?
No, just thinking about everybody 20 years ago that this was their last night going to bed seeing their family. So 20 years ago that happened. So just keep that in mind every day you live.
Amen, brother.
Amen, indeed. And we look forward to seeing what you got the rest of the season. And as of right now, you're kind of firmly almost into a 10th position. You and both Derek Schimmel pretty close position-wise there. So, yeah, you guys are securely kind of up there in that bubble. And, good luck the rest of these 4 races you guys got left.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. We're just going to keep going. Do what we do.
Alrighty, so we'll now move up our leaderboard and talk to the 98 of Isaac Degner. Isaac, congratulations. We don't normally get a chance to talk to you, and unfortunately, just not having quite enough for William Brown here at the end, but still a heck of a race run by you. I mean, we saw you battling with Greg just about the entire race there. Just, man, tell us how your thoughts on this race.
It was tough. So I've raced this track before. It's been a quick minute now since before they redid the aero package on the Cup cars. 2020 Q4, I think it was, something around there. And I hadn't raced this track since before then. And the aerodynamics in this track play such a huge effect and role. Because you'll be driving through the corners, I was just talking to William Brown about this, and you can go from having all the grip to none of the grip when you end up catching that dirty air. I don't know, I guess I got lucky with some good pit calls, talking back and forth with my teammates. Manny and Mike, we constantly had the information, talking back and forth between us what we think's best, what we think's going good. That last green flag pit stop, I think, was kind of crucial into being able to, I guess, solidify myself in a top 5 position. And we just found ourselves on the right line during the final restart, I suppose.
During practice and qualifying, the track temp was over 100 degrees. I think we saw it go a little bit over 100. When y'all finished, it was 85. And I kind of think that might be one of the reasons why the last lap you ran of the race was the fastest lap of anybody. It was a 52:21. So did y'all see any of that as it got later in the race? Did y'all see the grip get a little bit better? Did y'all think maybe the track was cooling down?
So I have the crew chief app, and all night long throughout this race and practice session, he was telling me, hey, track temp is dropping down, track temp's dropping down. Towards the second half of this race, it became very noticeable after I think it was around somewhere around lap 30, lap 28, when we went back green and we had fresh tires on. You just knew there was so much more grip. And that final time, after a huge majority of the field pitted, when we went back out there, I personally felt, maybe it's because I was following behind William too, and the dude knows how to race. I just had so much confidence, so I ended up giving it that little bit extra throttle going through 3 and 4, and especially 2. Just hammer down, and those cars they just had really good traction. And I was reading the tire wear charts, and it doesn't look like the setups were that bad for this week either.
Well, I kind of think you're sandbagging a little bit. I think you know this track because you had a hell of a run, and it's going to push you up in the point standings as well. So, hey, good job, man. And do you have anything you want to shout out or talk about? Damn good job, position 2. Congratulations.
The best thing I'd really like to point out is just my buddies on here that I race with. Anthony Fry, number 64, him and I work with each other in real life, and the last thing he said to me tonight before we left work, or after work was done, he's like, well, you better get pumped because it's Indy tonight. And he's a blast to race with and talk racing with. And then having Mike compare Corey Wakefield, and then Manny Valdez. Just racing with them this season, even as tough of a season as it has been, it's been a blast for when I have been able to race.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing what you and your team hold in the final closing moments of this season, and we wish you nothing but the best of luck. And again, hopefully, you can close that gap and end up maybe on one of those bubble positions. We'll talk to you later, man.
Thank you very much. Keep doing what you guys are doing, because you guys are doing an awesome job broadcasting.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
All right. And now a person who isn't a stranger to kind of finishing here on victory lane. That's going to be Mr. William Brown, picking up win number 3 on the season. Already, securely locked himself into that playoff run. But man, William, it looked like it was a hard fight going on out there, but it looked like a heck of a lot of fun from you guys up there at the front.
It was a lot of fun. It's a low banked track, high speed track. Tire saving is everything. Being behind somebody on older tires, you get the missing downforce that you wish you had in the clean air. It's tough. It's really fun, but you can't hardly drive behind somebody in the turns.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of that, especially after restarts when a couple of drivers had a little bit different pit strategy. The first caution of the race, actually, when it came out, was it was a car that didn't take tires and a car that did, and a little bit of racing for the same position there, and stuff just happened, and car went around. That was our first caution. So yeah, tires. I think you're right. Tires were everything. But what else did you see out there? Did you notice a track temp change? We talked a little bit to Isaac about that. Is that one of the things that you noticed? Do you think it really made a difference?
Yeah, it was about 100 degrees, I believe, at the beginning for the track temp, and I think when it was over, it was about 84. Now, whether it made a difference, I don't know. I didn't really feel a difference. Didn't notice it. But 16-degree difference.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, we've seen you here. I don't think this is our last time to see you here.
No.
What is your strategy, going into the playoffs, coming up pretty soon? And do you have anything you want to talk about, shout-outs, anything you want to talk about 9/11? Here is your final thoughts.
Yeah, heading into the playoffs, when we get there, I'm just going to try to run good, but consistently. Probably drive a little less risky. Not really try to push people. Last thing I need is get in an incident and get myself wrecked and then drop a lot of points. It's not entirely about the wins in the playoffs here. It gets you there, but running consistent will also get you there. Shout outs to all my friends watching, my teammates at Latte Motorsports, you guys in the broadcasting, Isaac, Manny, Malarkey, and I know Lance got out early, but those guys all ran up front consistently the whole time, even on long runs. And then again, 9/11, I just want to thank all the people in service, all the firefighters, all the police officers, all the volunteers who helped out that day. Those are the real heroes. And people like them are who we look up to and get to thank for why we have and what we can do every day here in our great country of America.
All right, man.
Well said. Well said.
Yeah, well said indeed. We look forward to maybe seeing you again here in the future. Like Adam Turner said, I'm kind of expecting we will, and wish you nothing but the best of luck as we quickly come down through this regular season and into the playoffs.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Man, we were expecting the gaps to kind of increase, but we had some interesting timely cautions, and man, that just made the racing all that more exciting here tonight. With these guys put on a heck of a show. Cannot deny that. As we're gonna go through how this race finished up for your favorite driver. We got William Brown picking up win number 3 in that 48 car, finishing right where he started, with Isaac Degner just coming up short of a win here and finishing here in second. Solid run by Greg Klein, finishing here today in third, with Manny Valdez finishing in fourth. You got Joe Nidick having a pretty solid run of a race here today. Unfortunately, I think pit strategy might have got a little bit the best of him, as he finished in fifth, with Alan Dixon finishing here in sixth. Another solid race from him. Mike Simone, we saw him charging through the pack kind of there late in the race and did pretty well here today. The 8 of John Nidick, unfortunately just not having the tires there at the end, finishing here in 8th, with the 21 of Michael Pempere finishing in 9th, with Derek Schimmel rounding out your top 10.
5 of the boss man, Taver Mowry, finishing 11th. The 80 of Pete Van Sprindle in 12th place. The first car that was a couple of laps down there, the 22 of Justin Barkley. Sorry about that, my guy. Finishing 13th place. 26 of Michael Buckley will finish 14th.
And then Italian Stallion from Arkansas, 15th, had a rough day. He's prone to them lately, but he's still sitting good in the point standing. So just keep toughing it out. Justin Malarkey, kind of a rough night for him, 9 laps down, 16th. Anthony Fry, 17th. Matt Forns out of Washington, 18th, and Lance Hill rounding it out in 19th.
And that will do us here tonight from Indianapolis. We thank you all for tuning in and hope you all have a great weekend, during which, of course, we ask that you kind of pay your respects and just have a brief moment to yourself, and just keep in mind the events of what happened 20 years ago. And we also thank once again A&J's Custom Creations for sponsoring this race. Go check them out on Facebook for some of these printing needs, tumbler cups, t-shirts, that kind of thing. Their designs are fantastic. For Alan English and Adam Turner, I'm Alan Brown. We're signing off tonight, and we look forward to seeing y'all again on Monday.
Yeah, definitely hold your loved ones close tomorrow, because 20 years ago today, or tomorrow, is a reminder that nobody knows when the last time you're going to see them is. So, and on that note, we gone.
Never forget. See ya.